This looks extraordinarily bad.
Welcome back to the Shack for episode 19 of Shack Out Back.
Welcome
How you
back
doing,
to the
mate?
Shack. That's a good tagline.
It's us. It's our book club of sorts podcast. We talk about whatever topic we want to talk about this week. How are you doing, Danny?
I'm doing very good. I'm feeling very energized. I am very excited to talk about Blood, which is our little thing we were talking about. I'm excited to talk about what I've been doing. I'm excited to talk about what I've been looking at and thinking about, drinking. I'm having a good time.
Why don't you go first in the biweekly breakdown then?
Okie dokie. I'm drinking a nice cold cola right now. A good old RC cola, just like my grandmother used to drink.
An iron brew, if you will.
Have you ever had RC cola?
No, I don't even know. I thought that was like a fake brand they put on like The Simpsons.
RC cola is just like, I don't even know what bootleg of a knockoff it is, but it's just a fucking cola brand. I'm pretty sure they sold it at Zeller's, and now you can get it at some no-frills.
Zeller's! What a fucking kickback for our good old Canadian listeners.
I've been settling into my new job at Storage Mart as one of the assistant managers there. I've been getting more confident, so I worked my second or third shift today where I was alone the entire day, and I don't feel completely inept.
You shouldn't feel completely inept, Dan. You're a good man. You're
not completely inept.
You're a capable person. What about the biweekly breakdown? What have you been distracting
What have I been
yourself
playing,
with?
watching, distracting myself from the slow march towards an inevitable death? We obviously been playing quite a bit of Blood, which is very fun. We have been not playing Hunt, which is sad. We've been quite busy with Blood and with Deep Rock, but that's okay. Been playing quite a bit more Deep Rock, I did some armor stuff and some weapon shit. I started reading Junji Ito's Remina, which I think I started a lot, but I never read. I'm sorry. Excuse me, listeners. I am almost done Remina. I'm bringing it to the cottage that I'm going to tomorrow to finish it up, and I'm also bringing the next, what's it called? How to Survive Camping book that I hadn't started
yet.
Yeah,
the third one?
The second one. I finished the first
one
and then took a little break because I was reading An Orchestra of Minorities, and then I'm going to read that second one there. I started and finished, I think, 1 or 2 games that I bought in the Steam sale. It's been the Steam sale over our break, so it was Metroidvania time for good old Danny. I bought Axiom Verge, and I bought Persona 4 Golden, and I bought Iconoclasts, and I bought Dorf Romantic, and A Sharp
Persona
Hike.
4 Golden, a very good Metroidvania.
Metroidvania, shut up. I bought SteamWorld Dig and SteamWorld Dig 2, and I also bought...
Lots of shit.
Blasphemous, and I started and finished Blasphemous, which
weren't you kind of lukewarm on it?
Yeah. So I started an Excel file at the beginning of the year to list all the games that I play, and after I'm done them, I say when I finished them, and I give a little short
review
description on kind of what I thought, because I'm really excited at the end of this year to do another big Game of the Year thing, talk about what we played this year and what we liked. And it's not really games that released this year. Fuck me, I have games from years and years ago in here.
Yeah.
Blasphemous was pretty good. I think the combat was pretty good. I think the biggest drawback to me was the traversal. In my opinion, Metroidvanias live or die on how fun it is to traverse the world, since that's what you'll be doing quite a lot of the time.
Yes.
Blasphemous had very, very boring movement mechanics, in my opinion. I kept on waiting for the cool thing to happen. I kept on waiting to get, a grappling
rocket
hook
boots
or
something.
Some weird shit like that, and it never really happened. The only thing that I got was a fast travel, and Jim, I'll tell you right now, even the fast travel in that game, the good fast travel, there's portals you can go between, but they're few and far between. There's basically their version of bonfires, and to have the ability to warp between bonfires, you need to donate 20,000 in-game money to the church, and it doesn't tell you that. I had to look that up online.
The church. Everyone's favorite gaming staple.
Other than that, obviously you play this game for the aesthetics. I don't know if you know anything about it.
It looks cool. Yeah. No, I know a little bit about it. It looks very cool.
It was really cool to look at, and all the bosses
But it's the whole thing
really
of,
cool.
I like a Metroidvania. Like I like them fine, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Something about them isn't like, oh yeah, let me go and buy all the new Metroidvanias and get my little stubby fingers on.
I am totally like that. Ori and the Will of the Wisps and Ori and the Blind Forest are some of my favorite games of all time. I have replayed those games multiple times. Other than that, I think that's it. Me and my girlfriend have been watching a lot of Yu Yu Hakusho. We've been just kind of hanging out.
Just chilling. Is it my turn, Dan?
It's your turn, Jim. Describe to me what you have been doing in your life.
So, let me start this out with 2 movies I watched on Shudder that I liked.
Tell me.
One of them was called The Autopsy of Jane Doe, and it was very good. It had Brian Cox in it, and it's just like a possessed evil witch body. It was fun. And I watched a Russian movie called The Super Deep, and it was kind of like The Thing, but in a big elevator shaft, like mine thing. The monster was really cool.
Deep?
The Super Deep.
I like that name.
I've been watching some Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown, which is a good show. I only watched the first couple seasons because they're free on YouTube right now, and they were pretty good. I like the one where he went to Montreal the best, or Quebec in general, because I love going to Quebec. I watched a bunch of superhero movies that I hadn't seen before, so I watched Brightburn and
we watched that one too. I forgot that.
Yeah,
we watched Brightburn as well.
Brightburn and Civil War and Venom, and the one that I liked the most was Venom because it was the worst movie out of 3, but it was fucking stupid as hell and very fun. Civil War was whatever, and Brightburn was like, I don't know. I thought it was good. I liked the effects and stuff, like the gore effects and stuff were fun, but it wasn't like a very involved, like fun. Not fun, but not a very involving movie to me. I also watched The Mitchells versus the Machines today, and it was fucking excellent.
I loved that movie. I found it very, very good.
I don't know who it does the animation on it, but it's the same team that did Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and that one short from Love, Death, Robot Season 1, and they're both really good, and this movie was amazing. It was great. And I 100%ed Donkey Kong Country 2 again, just because I could, and I was stuck at home for a bit, so I was just playing my Super Nintendo.
Just
it was a good time.
because you could, Jim said, fuck to the universe, and he did it again.
I did it again. I got 102% on Donkey Kong Country 2.
Is that what it is? Is that the 100 plus, like, is that the max amount? 102%?
Yeah, you gotta go to the secret island and big bop on K. Rool's head again, and then you get a scene where the island blows up when you're looking at it from Monkey Island, and then K. Rool flies away on a spaceship or something for Donkey Kong Country 3. But that's it for the bi-weekly breakdown. You want to get to the meat and potatoes of this, Dan?
Let's do it.
It's my pick. It's my pick. Excuse me, listeners, because I'm also sick as fuck right now. I got my Moderna vaccine yesterday, and I'm fucking like, I had fevers and chills all night, so I feel like shit, and I haven't slept. So if I'm a little bit disengaged this episode, I'm sorry. But for this week, I picked 1997's Blood. A favorite of Civvie 11, and a favorite of mine now that I've fucking beat it. It's great. We both played Blood Fresh Supply, right?
Yes, yeah, I played Fresh Supply.
Just the Steam version.
And that's like they include some add-ons onto that, and is it technically considered a remaster, I guess? Like, I know people are mixed on it, like people that are hardcore original Blood fans.
The thing with Blood is that Monolith never released the source code for it, so all of except for DOS Blood, all of the different versions of Blood, like there's like a hacked version of it and there's Fresh Supply and stuff, they're all based on an alpha version of Blood that was like reverse engineered. Jesus. So they're all kind of like off to a lot of people, but I'm not fucking playing that in DOS box. I can kiss my ass. I'm not running a fucking 586 PC version on my Windows 10 machine. I'd rather just play in 1080p with a widescreen.
Oh, with the FOV slider. Oh, the FOV slider is delicious.
You can turn the FOV slider up to like 360 degrees, or just like a...
This was actually one of the few games that I turned it up. I usually play on a pretty high FOV. Like, I know who I am. I play on an FOV that's like 105, 110, 115 in Dishonored.
Dan's the kind of guy who wants to see behind him when he's playing video games.
I see my elbows in those games. So it was like, I turned it up and I wanted to vomit. I was like, this does not work on an old game like this, like on a game that's been updated like this. Yeah. I kept feeling like my pitchfork wasn't hitting shit that I was like, I'm pretty sure I should be able to hit this. Yeah, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they shouldn't be able to see me right now, but they're seeing me.
So, for people who don't know, Blood is a game that's released in 1987, and it's made on the Build engine, like Duke Nukem 3D and Shadow Warrior and Ion Fury. It's an old game. It was originally made to be in 4x3, a little CRT, and plopped on your dad's fucking business desk. So it's a little bit... I don't know. I had a problem. I think I turned it down to 90, the FOV, just because...
I turned it down, to like base settings. I turned it down to
Yeah.
like 80 or 90, and I was like, this feels very good.
Yeah, look like... the thing that was always messing me up in Blood, because the game plays fucking amazingly. It's a very smooth game.
It's so good.
But trying to look up and down in that game was so jank. Because there was a point where, like, you just stopped and you can't keep looking up, and it was like... I don't know what the angle would be, like a 30-degree angle.
You
just
are
look
correct,
up
actually.
yeah,
Yes.
and you can't like look up past that. So you can't like if there's a cultist above you like throwing dynamite at you, you can't hit him with your gun. Yeah, you have to throw dynamite at him. But yeah, describe to me what you do in Blood. Like, what's the game? What's the loop in Blood? Like, what is it, Dan? What kind of game would you compare it to?
It is part of the holy trinity of build classics. I believe people will say it's up there with Duke Nukem and Shadow Warrior and Blood.
Yeah.
I have not played the original Shadow Warrior. I don't know if that's the original one that's on the build engine.
Yes, it's
is
the
it?
original one.
I have not played the original Shadow Warrior on the build engine. I've played a bit of Duke Nukem. I can tell you what I played in Blood. I didn't finish it. What I played in Blood is goddamn amazing. It's by far better than Duke Nukem in my opinion. And I got to episode 3.
Oh, did you? Okay, cool.
E3M1 or something like that. I can tell you, yeah, what I played of Blood, I found it amazing. Like, fuck me. This game, I was thinking about this morning. I was playing this morning. This game does not feel like it was from fucking 1997.
Which
it's
is like
amazing.
24 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, like, the level design holds up. Everything feels good. I know this is a remaster, but everything looks really good. Like, I've seen original gameplay too, and it still looks really good. Like, It has a really good art style. It has really good art direction.
It's always surprising to me what a good developer could do with the build engine.
It's such a fascinating engine.
All the stuff in Blood, like the levels. Here's the thing too. Here's what I want to bring up. Because I think I heard Civvie 11 talk about this. But it's like going back and playing Doom, it's like just abstract as to what the level is supposed to be. And in Doom 2, they're supposed to be city levels, and they look like fucking stupid. Like, they don't look like buildings at all. But in Blood, it's like the first level is like a mortuary, and the second level is like a carnival, and there's a steamboat and a train and like 100 other things. And it's like you can tell, like, yes, this is a train.
Instantly,
Yes.
you're like, this big block is a train. Even though the wheels are flat images on a rectangle, it's a train.
This is I think one of my favorite levels was, it wasn't very long. I think it was the penultimate episode of episode 4, or map of episode 4. But it was just like the inside of a digestive tract of a fucking huge monster. It was awesome.
Yeah, to prepare for this, I rewatched all the Civvie 11 Pro series.
All the Blood videos. Yeah, they were good. It's a damn good game. I was so, like, getting into it. Like, did you have that thing where, like, you try to play the first map and you're like, this is fucking hard. I don't know if I can do this. Did you have that?
So I wouldn't say I had that. I think I had even before that, where I was like, fuck, I've heard this game is very difficult. And I started it, and I don't know what I was expecting, but I died a couple times, and I didn't know you could quick save for the longest time.
Yeah.
So I probably played through E1M1 10 times, maybe.
And then died in E1M2.
I died, and then I'd restart it, and I'd be like, what the fuck? How do you do this in one sitting? I was like, is there, like, save points I'm, like, missing to press E on or something, or is it not saving?
No.
And I was like, I think I asked you, I was like, wait, can you quick save? And then you're like, yeah, you can also normally... And then I quick saved, and then wanted to go back in, and I was like, Jim, I can't load a quick save. And you're like, no, you have to normally save for that. And I was like, oh.
No, you can. If you just, like, quick save, you can hit quick load after you load it into the map, and it'll just, like, quick
or
load
whatever.
where you were. Yeah.
Yeah, so I didn't know that, but I was scared to play it because I was like, fuck me, what if I can't get past the first mission or whatever? And it is definitely brutal. There's a lot of shit that's like, not really in episode 1, but in episode 2 and 3 it starts getting harder.
I think I think that like that first couple episodes, like the first 2 maps in episode 1 are pretty punishing. Yeah. I want to give some background to this game. So this game was made by Monolith, which is a studio that's made a bunch of good games.
Are they still around? Don't they make Shadow of War or some shit?
I think... Oh, did they? I think they did. I think you're right. Look that up for me, Dan.
Am I a gamer god?
You are a gamer god. You perked in your brain.
Oh my god, they did make the Middle-earth games.
Yeah, they're making good money now. Yeah, this game's about Caleb, who is a man who is in a cult, and the god of the cult, like, turned on him and his friends, and he killed all his friends and put him in a grave, and he's like basically going up against the cult 30 or 50 years later and killing them all to avenge his friends. But it's like, it's a pretty dark game. Like, Caleb's basically a fucking like sociopath who just kills like whoever. Yeah, he's not a nice man, and it's just like you're this horrible, evil, fucking gunslinging man, like eating people's hearts and jumping around and like blowing them up with dynamite and like turning them into jibs, eat their guts and stuff. It's pretty morbid, but it's pretty fun.
It's pretty fucking fun, Jim. I agree. I liked that in the CGI cutscenes this game had, they were the loosest interpretations of a humanoid figure. They are so ugliest, fucking ugly.
They are the ugliest cutscenes I've ever seen in a fucking video game in my life.
They're so endearing, though. I love, do you know the voice actor for Caleb? I don't know his name. I looked it up before this and I forgot. But he did
voices in Dusk and stuff too.
Did he really?
He's doing voices in Gloomwood.
Oh, he's still
when it comes out.
Really?
Stephen Waite, that's his name.
Stephen Waite. He is Stephen Waite. If you're listening to this, you are amazing. Holy fuck! I love all the voice lines in this game. I love all the shit that Caleb says. I love how he says it. And Civvie 11 brought it up, but I really do agree. It's Duke Nukem has a certain charm to his voice. You either kind of love his character or you don't. Mm-hmm. But a lot of those performances for Duke Nukem are very phoned in. They're very like, I don't know. It just doesn't sound.
Doesn't resonate as well.
No, Caleb, all his stuff says is very weighty and it's very funny. Like, yes. I especially liked, because it did scare me when I turned the first corner in one of the games in a bathroom and I saw a mirror and the game has like active screen reflections.
And he goes, oh, scared myself.
Oh. Just me. I was like, I shot at the mirror. I was like, oh fuck, I actually.
I'm trying to remember some of my favorite Caleb quotes. There's one where he's like going into like a hospital. And he says, "It's time for me to donate blood, someone else's."
I like that. I like when I just like everything he says. I love how he says it. I like when he finds his dead girlfriend in the first episode's last boss, and he says, "Ophelia, sleep." No. I like everything that he says. I like how gruff his voice is, and it sounds like he really gave all in his performance, especially in those cutscenes.
Did you beat Dusk?
Yeah, I beat Dusk. I think I beat Dusk twice now.
He's the last boss. He's the big like the Cthulhu.
Big tentacle guy.
Yeah, the big Cthulhu
not
creature.
Jacob or whatever.
No, the guy who was not worthy. No, he's Chernabog. No, Chernabog's from Blood.
Chernabog's from Blood.
Yeah, he's like Nyarlathotep or some shit like that.
Nyarlathotep. You are correct. How'd you remember that?
I don't know. I got a brain like a sieve, unless it's something weird, Dan. But he's gonna be in Gloomwood too. He's gonna be like your patron or something, the Doctor's patron. I'm excited for that fucking game. Yeah. So basically, the when you're playing Blood, especially because we played on normal, we played on lightly broiled, which
there's
was
two skills before this, right? Under lightly broiled, and two skills above it.
Pink on the inside. And something else, and then lightly broiled, and then well done, and then extra crispy. But I think lightly broiled is a good like first playthrough like difficulty, just because you're not used to like the dickery of the game. Like, you're not used to popping around. I was born in 1995, so I'm not used to playing games where you jump around a corner and get fucking blasted by 16 fucking hit scanners in 1 second and die.
How fucked this game is sometimes. This game is not made... Like, there are moments in this game where the enemy placement and what happens is just straight up, the game's just fucking with you. Like, completely, the game's just fucking with you. There's a part in episode 2, I forget when it is, but if you stand still in one of the areas, there's like a pickup you can go and get. And if you stand still, I grabbed it and I looked on my keyboard to like activate it, and a fireball just shot out of the wall and killed me instantly. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ. In one of the last maps, you grab a key, and I was like, something bad's gonna happen. So I just crouched in the middle of the room, and 7 or 8 fucking like napalm turrets came out and started shooting into the air, and I was like, fuck me. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, this is what were the, because I rebound them, but what were the quick save buttons for you?
F2 and F3.
Yeah, this game is
F3 was I pressed those buttons a lot.
This is F3 the game. F3 the game.
Did you change the quick map icon or the buttons for like the doctor's bag and the jump boots and shit? I found it so odd that they were on like I guess it
They're on
makes
M.
sense in my mind.
They're on M for medic.
Medic, yeah.
They're on J for jump.
boots, yeah.
I didn't figure out what the Beast Vision did. Did you figure out what the Beast Vision did?
I looked it up because I got it and I just used it instantly in a room full of enemies and I was like, I don't see anything. I thought it would like maybe show them through walls or like do more damage or something. And I think on the Blood Wiki it mentioned being able to do that. It mentioned being able to like see enemies through walls slightly or like give them a tinge around it so you can kind of see them better. I didn't fucking see anything. I didn't see any notable differences.
Maybe it was broken from the port or something. Like, I don't know. Yeah, that port, like, Fresh Supply isn't 100%, like,
I heard it
there.
still has problems. Like, it had some visual problems for me. And in the circus level, did you see that one thing that was, like, glitch? It was fucking flashing ultra extreme mode in, JoJo's circus area where there's a tightrope you have to walk across. My back area of that, one of the walls was just going ape shit. It was flashing white. I did not have that, there.
But I could tell like fighting the bloated butchers. Like if you hit them with flares, if you hit them with 2 flares, they'd go down pretty easily. But if you pulled out the spray can, like the flamethrower spray can, it was always random as to what point they would catch on fire. It was kind of annoying to use. I didn't use that weapon a lot just because it felt like
it did nothing.
Yeah.
So what's it supposed to do? Is it supposed to be a flamethrower?
Yeah, it's a flamethrower.
Yeah, I used it just to see, like, I used the alternate fire of it quite a lot on like big groups of people.
Yeah.
But other than that,
that's the thing with this too, is that like it's a game from 1997 with a 2D engine basically. It's trickery. Like it's not a real 3D engine.
I still don't understand it.
Like it has 10 weapons and they're all neat. Like there's like your dynamite bundles and your shotgun or whatever and your Tommy gun, but there's like a voodoo doll.
Oh, I love the weapons in this fucking game.
And the life leech and the Tesla cannon and the napalm launcher and a bunch of different shit like that. And they most of them have alternate fire modes as well, like the napalm pulcher. Oh fuck, I can't even talk.
Napalm pulcher.
The napalm pulcher. If you hit the alternate fire mode, it would just shoot out a glob that would just spread fire everywhere. That's how I killed the end boss. It was fun.
I heard Chernobog isn't hard at all. I heard he's like the easiest boss.
He is the easiest boss. I don't think he's easier than the Stone Gargoyle, just because the Stone Gargoyle is fucking easy. You just need to crouch, basically. But I don't know. He killed me once when I was trying to beat him at the end, but yeah. What else, like, what game, because when I was playing this game, I was thinking a lot about, like, first-person shooters from, like, 2010. Like, I was thinking of, like, Spec Ops The Line and Battlefield games and Call of Duty games and stuff, and I was just, like, in this fucking, like, game from 1997, and there's like, maps where the ice like flips all around and goes underwater and the levels change and buildings fall down and shit blows up and all this stuff, and it's like all this crazy stuff was happening in the levels and there was so much levolution and stuff, and it was just much better than games that were coming out 15 years later. It was so surprising to me.
Yeah, like whenever I haven't played a Battlefield game since the third one, at least like actually enough that I can say confidently that I understand it and played it. Like I think I played 4 a little bit, and I played the one where you're fucking cops and robbers, and I played for
Hardline
1 or whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Is levolution the term where the levels all? I guess evolution levels. Did Battlefield make that term up?
I think that's a dumb, like a not official term. That's the one I've always used.
A dumb person.
Because it's funny sounding. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I felt. With Blood, it's really easy to get immersed into the levels. They don't look like it's an old game, fucking 1997 or whatever. It obviously looks. It's made. I believe in the Fresh Supply they're voxels now or something, where before they were pixels. So now they.
Yeah, some things are turned into voxels, but not everything.
So I'll ask you before I get into it. Did you ever have any of the enemies go 2D on you when they're turning a corner?
2D on you,
like flat. I saw that a couple times.
All the enemies were flat.
Like, did you see them though? Did you see them turn invisible for a second because they were on a plane away from you?
I did not see that. No.
I had that twice or 3 times. I'd be standing around a corner and a cultist would come around and go Makalamuga, and he'd turn flat for a second. I wouldn't be able to fucking see him because I'd see him go flat.
I've never had that happen before in playing that game.
Going into all the levels, they feel very natural, and they do very good things with the levels being real world locations. So like almost all the maps in this game are like, this is a carnival, this is a train, this is a hotel, this is outside of the hotel.
Yes.
And obviously
it's a
there's
street
extremes
and a
taken.
building and all this different stuff, yeah.
Obviously there's like liberties taken, obviously. But at the end of the level, you can still be like, this is a big hotel. Like, the hotel level, I was starting to understand at the end where all the rooms led to and how to quickly get to the fireplace area and go upstairs and get underground and stuff. It felt very good.
It was a refreshing thing to play, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think
Yeah,
the last...
it was good.
I'm trying to think of the last... What's the last first-person shooter you were playing?
God.
Campaign-based... Because you were playing Doom Eternal.
It would have been Doom, yeah.
How do you feel about this game compared to Doom Eternal? Because they're both difficult games and shit. So how do you feel about comparing the two of them? Because I mean, like all these games were called Doom clones back in the 90s. They weren't called FPSs.
Doom clone. We should bring that term back. I love it.
Yes.
So
Battlefield, the Doom clone.
So Doom Eternal. I remember because I was playing Doom Eternal and it was near the ending levels, and Cassie came up. My girlfriend came up. And she was watching it for a minute or two, and then she was like, that looks really stressful. Are you having fun? She was like, all it is just switching between 1,000 guns and running up as fast as you can and running around. And I looked angry while playing that game most of the time because I was very concentrated and very, very into it. Blood, I never got angry in it. I was getting annoyed with some of the deaths, but I can never say I was angry. Like, it was wholesome fun. I liked playing it. I liked how all the weapons felt. I liked how the movement felt. So it was never, like, when I died, I'd be like, oh, I can run back there in 30 seconds. It's not, like, far.
It reminded me of, I was listening to our first episode today.
Yeah, me too, actually.
It reminded me of, because I was talking about how Spelunky 2 was like, oh, you die like 18 times, but you can load in really fast. Yeah. Like, Blood is like, okay, I gotta run this enemy. Quick save! And then I'll go around the corner and get fucking killed. I'm like, okay, quick load! And then I toss some dynamite over and do whatever. But, yeah, it felt a lot like that. It was like, I don't know, I didn't feel punished for dying or doing something stupid and stuff like that. Like, I felt like I found a lot of secrets and stuff. I only found...
me too.
Did you find both the secret levels in episode 1 and episode 2?
I didn't find any secret levels.
So I found the secret level in episode 2 just because I was picking up those books in that mansion. So I just found the secret level and it was a good time.
Pick up books? Like, what are you talking about?
In the mansion, there's a bunch of books sitting on the table. When you get 5 of them, like, portal opens and you go to the secret level.
Really?
Yeah. But I didn't find the rest of them, so I mean, it's not a big deal. But like, I don't know. I was more free to explore and like try different things. Like, I was like jumping out of the train to see if I could jump another part of the train, or jumping off cliffs to see what was down there and shit like that. Like a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was a good time.
Did you find yourself quick restarting, quick loading? If you went through an area you previously had quick saved at and you were like, I can do that better. I can probably do that without getting hit or without wasting this ammo. I did that a lot, which is good.
I did that a lot.
I'd go through an area. I'd like quick save, go through an area and be like, I got hit a couple times and I think I used like 1 or 2 grenades that I didn't have to. I can totally do that without doing that.
Yes, I did that a lot.
Save it. Yeah. I'd quick save, restart, and it was fun as hell every single time.
It was just a good fucking time playing Blood, and it was getting over that hump, right? It was getting over that, like, that first level, because I'd never played Blood before, and I was like, they're not giving me a lot of ammo, like, there's a lot of enemies, you gotta jump around and shit. But once you like click in, once you get into that groove of like, oh shit, jump around, quick save, do this, do that, throw dynamite, all that crap, like, it was like any other game, right? It was like any other game where you pick it up. It felt like a new game, to be honest, because I never played an FPS that was that punishing before.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever played a game that's similar to that. Like, I play a lot of weird little indie games and weird projects and weird games. I think the biggest game that reminds me movement-wise, how, like, Caleb moves very differently from, like, a Duke Nukem or a, like, an Ion Maiden or anything like that. He's not floaty, but he's, like... He has some movement to him, like when you stop...
He skids around.
Yeah, kind of. It takes him getting used to, but at the end you can feel really fast running around.
That's the thing with all the good build games, right? Like Shadow Warrior and Duke Nukem and Blood and Iron Furies, they all feel different. They look kind of similar, but they all feel different in terms of like the weight of the weapons and how your character moves around and all that shit.
Yeah.
It's so surprising to me that, you know, when you think of like Gamebryo, do you know what Gamebryo is, Dan?
Why do I know what that is? I recognize
that's
name.
the engine that Bethesda made Morrowind and Oblivion and Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas on. And, you know, there were iterations on that engine, but it basically, those games feel very similar, like in terms of movement and character and all that stuff. But the build engine games feel differently. And I was looking at that Civvie 11 video of that Capstone game that was made in build, and it's like, it doesn't even look like the same fucking engine. Like, it looks like a piece of human excrement, and it's so surprising to me it was made in the same engine.
I want to talk about how all the weapons handle and shit, because every single fucking weapon in this game, that's like the meat and potatoes. That's what you're going to be doing in this game.
Yes.
You're going to be shooting and everything, and you're going to be using all the weapons. I think they all have uses.
Yes.
Some of them are very niche uses. Like, I didn't expect there to be so many different types of dynamite. That kind of caught me off guard.
I didn't really...
Yeah.
I think that they would probably be useful in higher difficulties, but I didn't really use proximity mines or the remote detonators very much. Did you?
Yeah, I can feel it. I used... So, here's the thing. I'd use proximity mines when I die by an area and then say, okay, I know there's enemies coming out of here. Let me throw them where they're going to be. I used the remote detonated ones when I was running with a big group of enemies behind me. I could throw it at my feet.
Drop one and then blow her up.
I did that. Mostly not a lot. Near the end of the game, I was getting good enough that I could like turn around and jump over zombies' heads and then throw a grenade behind me and stuff like that.
I loved using zombies to jump up on different parts of the terrain because you can just like jump.
Yeah.
You can jump on their heads and jump on top of hedges and stuff. But yeah, I was trying to get a lot better with throwing dynamite. So instead of using that, if I had a bunch of enemies follow me, I'd be like, okay, and I'd light the dynamite and just chuck it at them because I was trying to get better with throwing that shit.
Did you ever use the alternate fire of the dynamite?
Just lay it on the ground?
Yeah, you can like bounce it around walls and shit too, eh?
Oh, can you with the secondary fire?
If you alternate fire it and then throw it at walls, it bounces because it doesn't detonate when it hits something. So I was throwing it around walls and stuff.
Oh, really? You can do that a little bit with the primary fire too. I thought like,
so.
If it's like, I don't know if it's like a timer thing or something, but I don't know. What was your favorite weapon in the game, Dan?
I love the voodoo doll just because I love the aesthetics of that. I wish more games had funky fucking weaponry like that. Are you just
slamming a nail into a voodoo doll?
So the voodoo doll is interesting. It's straight up as a voodoo doll. Its alternate fire mode is like you smack a bunch of nails into it and like rub it around.
Cast
and stuff.
A death spell.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? You like wave your hand over it too, don't you?
Yeah.
Some shit like that. It does a lot of damage basically. You have to be looking at an enemy or else the voodoo doll damages you.
Damage you, yeah.
Which is another interesting thing, but it's very good for picking off enemies from very far distances, because as long as you have them in your sight, you basically will damage them if you're looking at them, and it's pretty strong too. It only takes a couple hits to kill cultists, like regular cultists and stuff like that. I was gonna say I think the voodoo doll is my favorite aesthetics wise. I think sound design and everything wise, the shotgun you can't beat. I think that's one of my favorite shotguns I've used.
Yeah, that shotgun's fucking good as hell. It was so good, man.
Double barrel shotgun.
That's definitely my favorite weapon in this game. I like the Tesla cannon and I like the life leech and shit, and I like the napalm launcher. But that shotgun is amazing. Where it's just like crick crack boom, crick crack boom, crick crack boom. Like, it's so fun. And I like that you can blast both barrels and shit like that too.
Yeah, shotgun's primary fire is unloading one barrel, and the dual fire is unloading both at the same time. Did you ever really use the primary fire, or was it pretty much always secondary fire? I used it to
pick off hands and rats.
Oh, true.
Spiders. That's what I used it for.
I was doing that as well, but you reload that shotgun fucking instantly.
Lickety split.
He just smashes both barrels down and then throws 2 shells in it and then pops it back up, and you're instantly ready to fire again. It feels so good to use. Yeah. I wish more games had interesting weapons. And it got me thinking, the last game that I really played that had very interesting weapons was I believe the Resistance series had some interesting weapons. Same with Prey. Well, Prey had very interesting weapons.
I've only played Resistance 1 a little bit, but it had alien weapons and stuff, I remember.
That's what I'm thinking about. I'm just wanting to look it up. But the weapons in this game really reminded me of Prey. They were very stylized. Prey from 2006.
2006.
Yeah. Did you play that game, or were you talking about playing that game?
If I find it for the 360, I'll play it. I just watched Civvie 11's video on it, and I really liked it.
Get it on the PC.
Get it on the PC. Didn't you have to like go behind an alley and pay a guy with heroin and hide it inside your pants to get out of the country or something? Like, how did you get that game working?
Yeah, it's not on Steam, is it?
No.
It's not on anything. And it doesn't even show up if I type in Prey to Steam. I bought it on, like, GOG or CD Keys or Kinguin or something for, like...
Kinguin? What the fuck is that, bro?
I bought it on one of those key reseller sites, which I know they're bad, but you fucking can't buy this game. Like, I can't
That's
fucking
the
buy
only
this
way
game.
you can get it.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
not doing anything bad. I can't goddamn get this game. I don't buy any games on those sites, but I really wanted to play it. I bought it for like 59 cents or something, or like $1, and I was like, I'm probably going to get scammed and this won't work. And I popped it in and it worked instantly, and I think I had to install one patch or change something in the config files to have widescreen format on it. Other than that, I had no sound problems. I had no tearing. I had nothing. It worked fucking perfect.
Oh shit, I should get that game.
Yeah.
Give some key reseller my hard-earned cash.
Give some Yugoslavian key reseller your 59 cents.
I was just looking at my Steam library, and like a lot of the games I find with like really cool weapons were like Medieval. That one had really cool weapons.
Yeah, they're made by cool fucking people.
Yeah, indie games.
Oh,
and
Medieval's weapons. You're fucking so right. I forgot about that.
Viscera Fest has some fun weapons and stuff too.
Yeah, you bought that game, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's really hard. It's harder than Blood.
Really?
It has a weird checkpoint system too.
Huh.
So it's like you have to like checkpoints are like a consumable item you have to drop.
Oh, I do remember that. Yeah, I do remember that.
It's a hard game. But I was thinking of like the last like AAA game that had really cool weapons, I think was Dead Space. And how old is Dead Space? 13 years old?
Yeah. I think me and you both, we're not really like I very, very, very fucking rarely buy like brand new AAA games. I couldn't tell you the last time that I actually did, because dropping $80+ on a game for me doesn't really do anything, because I'm pretty content on waiting like a year and a half so I can get it for $30 on Steam or something like that. It doesn't impact me at all.
The only games I've bought on release in the last few years were Red Dead 2, which was 3 years ago.
I remember that, yeah.
And the Spyro the Reignited trilogy, I think. I bought The Last of Us 2 like 2 or 3 months after it came out. I don't know if that counts. But like you always gotta wait for like patches and reviews and all that shit. And you gotta make sure that you're buying like your $80 is actually gonna go to something good. Yeah.
Like, you know what I can buy $80? I could buy Gunpla, I could buy a board game, I could buy food to sustain myself for one more day.
I could pay rent with it.
I could pay partial rent. Yeah, especially on PC, I find I've been burned enough times, and I haven't been burned a lot because I stopped doing it, but if you're like a game reviewer or someone who actively buys the newest games on PC, I'm sure you have fucking horror stories of shit just not working on day one and just crashing. But like, I've been burned by Dishonored 2. It was blatantly unplayable for me.
That was so bad. I remember you were so excited. You were like, I'm gonna get this game, and you pre-ordered the fucking like deluxe edition or whatever, and you got it on PC, and it was fucking atrocious, and your mask didn't fit your face.
I don't think those masks are supposed to fit. I have it. It's a really nice mask. I also have the ring and the steelbook. But yeah, I remember starting it and seeing my FPS counter and saying, 18 frames on medium settings. I don't think this is correct.
I think there's something fishy here.
And then I looked it up like the next day because I was like, maybe there's a day one patch. I looked it up the next day and all the threads are like, I can't fucking get the game to work. It's crashing halfway through. Deleted my files. 10 frames a second. And I said, oh God, no.
Please, Lord, don't cyberpunk this, please.
But yeah, I think I did that once or twice and spent $80+ and I was like, fuck me. I would rather just buy a bunch of indie games and love them instead of spending $80 on a goddamn game that's not gonna work and will maybe work in 3 or 4 months when it's gonna be 20% off.
You know what game like that was for me? I think this was 3 or 4 months after I got it. I've talked about it on the show before. It was BioShock Infinite.
Was that on PC?
No, I bought it on my 360. I bought that and I played it. And I played it over 2 days. It's like a 13-hour game. I finished that game and I said, wow. The writing in that game, that ending fucking sucked. The gameplay was bad.
I hate you, Jim, because I like BioShock Infinite.
Nah, I hate that fucking game. What was I going to say too? Getting back to Blood, do you think that this is like... This game has held up so well. I don't think there's another game from like... There aren't very many games from like the early 2000s to like the 90s that hold up as well, unless they're like fucking side-scrollers or something. Like, yeah. I can't think of another FPS game that like is as involved and plays as well as Blood and these other build games to a greater extent. I like those Doom games. Like, I like the original Dooms and Doom 64, but they're pretty primitive. Like, when I play Blood, like, Blood feels more fresh and new than a lot of new fucking games.
Yeah, I can feel that. Yeah, I don't think there are many games, and again, I'm not a huge old school gamer. I obviously have never played anything on DOS or anything, but I know a lot about that type of shit, and I watch a lot of videos about games back then, and especially all the games like this, like Hexen and Blood, obviously, and lots of the other stuff that have come out. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they were very interesting for their time, and like you were saying, Doom and everything, insanely interesting for its time, like a fucking staple of gaming. Like, it's affected so much stuff. But I've tried to play Doom 64, or not Doom 64, fucking
regular
Doom. And I've been like, I don't really love it. Like, no. I can see why it's so interesting and everything, but I play it and I'm like, I'd rather just not play it. Like, I understand it's effective, but I just don't really want to play it.
I think I have a higher tolerance for old shit because, I don't know, I've played through all the Doom games except for Doom 3 and I enjoy all of them. And you know I have that retro setup and I play old games all the time.
You play Bloodborne on a CRT TV and yeah.
I know that there are lots of games that if you like, it's this thing you brought up where I was talking about Ghouls and Ghosts that one time where you said if you plopped a 13-year-old in front of Ghouls and Ghosts, they would fucking hate it.
Yeah, they'd fucking stop playing instantly. And I can't tell if it's because of the innate design of it or that people are just like kids and stuff now with their games.
Primitive.
They're just like,
yeah, it's primitive.
Look nice. I think it looks very nice. You can tell it has a style, but you can also tell it was made to fucking eat quarters. It was made to like, it was an arcade game, right?
I'm not gonna defend Ghouls and Ghosts. I like it, but like it's not, and most people won't. But even like, I feel like for a game to hold up, the gameplay needs to be there. Like I was talking about playing Donkey Kong Country 2. That is one of the best games ever made by man. Donkey Kong Country 2. It is better. It is the best game Rare has made. It is so fucking good because the gameplay is so tight and it is still tight today. I think it's the best 2D side-scrolling platformer ever made by a human being. It's fucking good as hell.
You heard Jim. He gives Donkey Kong Country Returns 2 or whatever the fuck.
Donkey Kong Country 2 from 1995.
The best game of the world award.
Best game of the world. Best game ever made. Best game. Like Blood. Blood's the best game ever made. I really think that after playing Blood, it's definitely... I don't think we talked about the minutia. The thing with Blood is you need to play it. You need to play it right now. Don't listen to this podcast. Put this podcast down and go buy Blood and play it because it is one of the best games ever made. And us describing it to you will not suffice. You need to play it for yourself.
You need to go buy it from a Kiwi seller
for $2 from a stolen credit card. We bitched a little bit about fresh supply, but it's just like the easiest way to play it, right? Like I don't have to
by fucking far, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna download a mod or like a weird port. Not a weird port because people work on them a lot, but I don't want to fuck around. I just want to get on Steam, buy a game, and get it to work, and this is the best way to do that. Yeah. And it comes with all the official expansion material anyway. So it's a no-brainer. And when it's not on sale, it's $11. When it's not on sale, it's literally $11. So fucking just buy it.
Cheap as fuck. I think I got it for like $5 or some shit.
On the Steam sale, yeah. What are your final thoughts on Blood, Dan?
My final thoughts on Blood, extremely good. I love the sound design. We didn't talk about so much stuff because there's so much stuff to talk about.
The music's so good.
The music's amazing. I love when you fucking light up a cultist on fire or blow him up.
And they go,
like,
oh God, I'm burning!
Yeah. He fucking screams and flies past you and all this shit.
Did you know there's like a cultist language that's actually translated? You can look up the cultist language.
Really?
I'm going to do that right now. Maranax and Firabooks! You know what that means?
No.
It means death to the outsider.
Huh.
Cruox Cruo. Do you know what Cruox Cruo is?
I do not, Jim. Tell me.
Fresh blood. Fresh blood, Dan.
Fresh blood indeed.
Good game. A game that, like, I don't know. We can't sing the praise enough, but the sprite work's really good. There's a fucking language in it. The sound design's amazing. The music's really, really good. There's a good-ish port of it on Steam, and it's like $10, so go buy it. Go buy it right now, everybody listening.
Go buy it and play it and get back to us.
Tell us about your experience with Blood. That's my final thoughts, is just fucking buy it.
Me too. It's cheap enough, you don't even fucking need to think about it.
It's one of the best decisions I've ever made. Like, that game's amazing, and I beat all of it in like a week. It was great.
It's good enough that I'm actually going to finish it. I'm not going to drop
Stop.
it. So you heard from me.
I think we're closing out here on Shack Up Out, Dan. Shack Up Out, Dan.
I think we are done.
I'm closing the shutters. I'm putting my footy pajamas on. I'm pulling the covers over my head. Nailing the board shut.
Nail the board shut. Getting in our big queen size bed together.
Yes, my Moderna hot flashes are going to be keeping us up all night. So what are we doing for episode 20? Big 2-0 of Shack Out Back. It's your pick, Dan.
I open up the nightstand. I open up the nightstand and I reach in and pull out a book I've wanted to read and you enjoy it, and of a topic that you enjoy.
Oh,
Jim,
God.
I want to talk about Hellboy, the series. I want to talk about Hellboy.
Hellboy?
Yeah.
What? We're talking about Hellboy, bro?
Jim always talks about the Nazi with the crab claw who fights Nazis, and Jim always talks about that he loved the Hellboy 2020 movie, and he thinks there should be a cinematic universe of it.
What do you want to talk about specifically? Like the comic, or?
I don't fucking know. How many Hellboy movies were there before 2020?
2.
Okay,
actually,
so we'll watch
there's 2 live action with Ron Perlman and 2 animated ones with Ron Perlman.
We'll watch some Hellboy movies or something. You can come over and we'll watch it and we'll do this stuff.
Okay. If you want to read the books, I mean, I'm assuming they're cheap. Like,
yeah,
I used to buy them with my allowance when I was a kid. You can borrow some of mine too if you want. There's like, I'm trying to think, because I basically have an entire shelf on my bookshelf that's just Hellboy stuff. So it's like Hellboy and Ape Sapien comics and the BPRD and the Lobster Johnson comics. So I think there's like 60 of them, so you don't have to read all of that, but there's a lot.
I'm excited to watch the Hellboy animated movies. He looks ugly. He has really tiny little legs.
I'm trying to remember what they're called. They're called Blood and Iron
Sword
and
of
Sword of
Storms.
Storms.
Yeah, Blood of Iron. But okay, you heard it 2 weeks from now. We'll be speaking about the man, the myth, the legend. Ron Perlman is Hellboy.
I'm going to spoil all of it. I'm a reliquary of Hellboy knowledge. It's one of my favorite things on this earth. I'm gonna be fangirling out about Hellboy the whole time. I hope you don't mind, Daniel.
That's it, gentlemen. Hellboy. 2 weeks from now. Gentlemen and women and everyone in between.
You know what? I'm going to take us out this week, Dan. You know what I'm going to do?
Tell me. What are you going to do?
I'm going to ream off a bunch of Hellboy comic names so that I can remember.
Okay.
You ready? So it's Hellboy, Seed of Destruction, The Wild Hunt, Strange Places. Oh, fuck, I can't remember any of them. Good night, everybody.
Good night, darling.
Goodbye, Jim.
Bye-bye.
Good night, Dan.
Good night, everybody.
That's all, folks.